Hey, we're back on the J&J Show, Power 101. We have another letter here, or email, rather. I'm from the old school as well. Another email here. Carl, out of Memphis, Tennessee, writes, J&J, I just served 8 months in Tennessee State Penitentiary, and now I'm trying to get my life back together after being released, but I'm realizing there are not many opportunities for felons. Can you please give me some advice on how to get back on my feet? Man. First of all, Carl, thank you for the question. Definitely appreciate that. This is one of the biggest tragedies of American life. You do a crime, you serve your debt to society, but you're never really finished serving your debt.
Yeah.
It's like, you go in, you do your time for whatever your crime was, but you're still serving time even though you're free because opportunities are not afforded to you. You can't vote in a lot of states. Getting a job is damn near impossible. It is really, really tough. If I had to give Carl some advice, I would say just do your best to stay positive. Do your best to stay positive and try to network as much as possible. Networking is going to be your biggest resource. And by networking, I mean shake hands, be as friendly as possible, go places, give your testimony, tell your story, and hope that people accept you for you. Jay,
it will happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen because my mom actually just told me about a guy last week. My mom is the manager at a restaurant, and this guy came in, and he talked to her. He had an interview or whatever, and he said, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. My friends told me I should not tell anybody this who could be a potential employer, but I just want to be honest with you. I just got jail, blah, 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 and I'm really just looking for a chance. And my mom was like, hey, well, you know what? You got it. I will go ahead and give you an opportunity. I mean, obviously, you're still going to be held to the same standards as everybody else, but you were honest with me, and you want to try to get your life back on track, so I'm going to give you that opportunity, and that's just that. And she said that he's been a model fucking employee, you know what I'm saying, that he's done everything that he's supposed to do and more. He's a good kid. He just messed up once. So that right there goes to show that every once in a while you will come across somebody who will give you a break, but a lot of times you won't. And so I kind of understand where Carl is coming from. Even though I've never been in jail, I've known a lot of people who have, and I've had friends who have had felonies and been locked up over and over and over again, though, too, and then they try to get out and they try to get a regular job, and they try to lie on their application and say, no, they never had a felony, and, of course, it ends up coming back to bite them in the ass, and so they're working for like a day or two and they fucking get fired because they found out they lied on the application. It's just like, a lot of times it's very difficult, but it is possible, A lot of times just level with somebody and say, look, man, I did mess up in the past, but I just don't want this to keep me from ever doing anything with my life for the rest of my life. I mean, what I'm saying? That's like cheating on a girl, and she says she forgives you and y'all going to start to fuck over, and then 6 years later, this bitch still won't give you no pussy and she still won't trust you. It's like, damn, shit, we might as well just broke the fuck up because you're still holding it against me forever and ever and ever and ever. It's like you said, Jay, once you pay your debt to society, you serve your time, then let that be it, man, and get a motherfucking clean slate. Just my take on it.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to add to this, too. I don't want to make it seem like myself or Jay are condoning whatever these felonious acts are that got people locked up in the first place. I mean, I understand some things are really, really egregious. Some of this stuff it makes it hard for you to trust these individuals, but everybody deserves a second chance. The reality is this, too. So somebody goes in, they serve their debt to society, they do their time or whatever, they come out of jail, we make them serve time all over again by neglecting them certain rights and privileges and denying them certain opportunities. All we're doing is telling them to go commit more motherfucking crime.
Yeah, I was going to say, which a lot of times makes them go right back to the same old shit to try to get ahead.
Okay, so I just did, let's take Carl, for example. Look, Carl, I don't know what you did because you didn't tell us, but whatever. So Carl gets out. He's trying to get his shit together, as he explained in his letter, but doors are being slammed in his face, opportunities are shut down. Carl's probably going to go right back to whatever landed him in jail in the first place. Mm-hmm. Not that he wants to. It's probably going to break his heart to do it, but shit, he has to eat. He might have kids. He might, it's survival. And I would rather give motherfuckers an opportunity to go out here and do something basic to prove that they're trustworthy and honest all over again. You know, but employers look at resumes or whatever, and they look at the applications and they see, okay, felony for X, Y, and Z. Right away. Can't trust them. That's not necessarily true. I mean, sometimes we're looking at felonies that were 10 years old. Yep. The motherfucker ain't even did shit wrong in 10 years, but he did do some shit wrong 10 years ago. He was 18 and 19. But because of that, we're going to keep this sort of, this judgment going that this person should not be honored with another opportunity to prove themselves. And it's really not productive to society as a whole. So, you know, Carl, definitely appreciate you writing in, appreciate your question. But the reality is, right now in America, let me just make this point too. America, we incarcerate more people per capita than any other country on the face of this planet. We love to lock motherfuckers up. If it isn't these bullshit-ass drug laws, it's some other foolishness. We keep people locked up. We keep them locked up for the longest period of time. You know, when we compare it to Europe and some of these nations out here, it's a mess. And the reality, too, is prison, jails are big business. So there's a lot of money to be made, too. So there's incentive to lock people up, to keep them locked up. So, you know, we can go off on a whole bunch of tangents here and take this conversation in a lot of different directions, but it really boils down to, and it sort of comes back to the fact that we need to start doing a better job as a nation in terms of how we treat our ex-cons. And if we are going to be better as a nation, we have to start giving second chances and give real opportunities for rehabilitation, because sending somebody to jail is not rehabilitation in and of itself. There has to be some, it's just like when you go to the hospital, right? You're sick. You go there, they give you medicine, and after you leave, it ain't like, fuck them. They'll call you and say, hey, you okay? Are you following the regimen the doctor gave you? Okay, if you have any other issues, don't hesitate to come back. We don't do that to our felons, to our ex-cons. So, and let me make it clear, too, this is not to take away from what their victims experienced. Mm-hmm. But let's call a spade, too. A lot of people that are locked up for victimless crimes, except for themselves being a victim. And I'm talking about these drug laws, because these drug laws are bullshit. They're locking people up for smoking weed. And me and Jay, neither one of us smoke weed. We don't even drink alcohol. But
that's true. We
don't mind motherfuckers going and getting high. As long as they don't hurt anybody. As long as you don't get behind the wheel. I don't give a fuck what you do in the comfort of your home. Shoot up, smoke, whatever. Right. Snort. Give a shit what you do. I'm not advocating it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying people should do that. But if somebody wants to do something to their own person, let them. Because all the resources and time we take to devote to what somebody's doing to themselves, we should take that and devote it to real shit. All this murder out here, robbery and thievery and shit, you know, we could take that energy and devote it to something else.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, you know, at the end, go ahead, Jay.
You talked about the drug laws and things like that. What's crazy is that I was reading about a study by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, and they were saying that drug usage among U.S. high school students from 1975 to 2011 found that white students were actually more likely to have abused an illegal substance than black students, yet black youth were arrested for drug crimes at rates more than double those of white youth.
Yep. And why is that? Is it because black users are more irresponsible with their usage? No. Is it because the white kids are a little more slick? They're a little more clever? No. This is how the system is set up. So when me and Jay are talking, we're also telling you black men like Carl and, well, shit, I'm assuming Carl is black-eyed. Carl, if you're not black, my bad. But I'm talking to black males right now because black males get locked up disproportionately for all offenses, but especially in the cases of drug laws, which is what we're talking about right now. So, you know, the system is sort of set up against you, but there's ways to not be a victim of the system. How about stay your ass away from this shit? You know, there's some personal responsibility involved in this as well. So, you know, we can get up here and talk about the system all day, every day, and there's definitely some fault with the system. But there's some personal responsibility, too. You know, I don't go to parties. Because I'm old as fuck. I ain't that old. I just don't go to parties because there's a lot of stuff that goes on there that I'm just not into.
Mm-hmm.
You call me a square, you say, oh, this maybe third, whatever. But I'm not going to be the one in jail.
Yep.
When the police show up, I'm not the one they're looking for.
Yeah. We're going to be the ones that's out here on the outside doing our show, making money, having fun, while your ass is locked the fuck up, but somehow how we square so we don't do the shit. Nigga, we smart.
And here's something, too, man, because, you know, I just said we weren't going to go off in different tangents, but fuck it, we are. So here's tangent number 3. A big reason why a lot of males turn towards drug dealing and smoking weed and being clowns and carrying on and getting away from focusing on education is because of the damn women. And I'm going to tell you why. Boys do shit to impress girls, right?
Yeah.
So if they see the thugs and shit like that getting the attention and getting the love, this is what they're going to imitate. Young bitches, listen to me. Start giving pussy to the nerds. The motherfuckers that's in class and got all the answers, this motherfucker know all the answers. The first nigga with his hand raised, give him some pussy.
Right.
Now, stop bullshitting. But they don't want to get in no pussy. Knowing the answers, there ain't nothing sexy about that, knowing all the answers. This nigga getting hundreds of shit on his test. The teacher is calling him up to assist in teaching the class because he's mastered the material. Oh, that's not sexy. That don't make the pussy good. In fact, that make the pussy dry up, which is sad. His balls should stay getting licked. He should have wet balls every day.
Every day.
But they don't want to get him no pussy. Oh, dude.
Now, the only thing they want to do
class
is...
clown. The nigga that 10 years from now, you know he ain't going to amount to shit. This is who they want to get a pussy to. And this helps contribute to that ongoing cycle of black men not doing anything with their lives. So I'm not blaming young girls all together 100% like it's all y'all's fault, but y'all are a major factor in some of this bullshit. Y'all need to be better young women. And you know, think of however you want to. I stick by that. All right, I take myself, for example, right? I was a straight A student in school. I wouldn't have got no pussy except for the fact that I played basketball. If I didn't play basketball, and I didn't even think about this shit until I was having a conversation with one of my homeboys from school recently. And he sort of threw that out there. Like, Jay, you would have got no pussy if you didn't play ball. Like, you know what, you're right. I was good looking as shit. But I was a nerd. I had all the fucking answers. I knew the material. I mastered the material. I used to read my books. I was a nigga when they passed out textbooks at the beginning of the class, the beginning of the semester or whatever. I would take the shit home and just read it all the way through. So by the time we got to the 3rd and 4th week, I already knew the shit. You couldn't tell me nothing about no goddamn math. Nigga, math? Shit. I would basically teach the math class. But I realized that shit wasn't turning nobody on. They're not there, but it's going to be like, nigga. The way you multiply those numbers.
Tables?
And the way you put that algebra together, nigga. Beat me by the lockers.
Right.
Literally, I didn't know that.
Fractions.
It wasn't until I started playing basketball. The bitch started throwing the pussy. I was like, okay, you know. And then, obviously, at the time, I'm not thinking about it like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a young guy who doesn't like attention from young women. Right. But as I think about it in my later years, it's like, I see what's going on here. And there's a cycle to this shit. And so, what I noticed is, or at least now that I think back on it, when I started playing ball, that's when pussy started getting thrown at me. But I realized there was niggas in there that wasn't smart, couldn't play no fucking basketball, had no talent, had not a skill in the world, right? Except that they were fucking hoodlums. But they were getting the same pussy thrown at them that I was getting thrown at me, except I had skills out the ass.
And it makes you wonder, why? What is it about a man who is doing stupid shit or doing crime or getting involved in mischief and things like that that really turns a woman on, that makes her, or a girl, I should say, you know, high school age and, you know, even sometimes a little bit older than that they just really, really get into these thugs, these hoodlums, these criminals, you know, the niggas.
You know, we should have National Fucking Nerd Day. All the bitches are single. If you're not married, you have to find a nerd and fuck. And I ain't talking about that back fuck. I'm talking you gotta throw the shit back. Bitch, put it down.
Yeah, but I'm serious though. What makes them so turned on by
I'm serious too.
niggas who are not productive?
Yeah.
And just doing the dumb shit. In fact, it's too bad that them young bitches ain't listening to our show right now, so I can actually ask them directly because I would love that.
And them bitches ain't listening to the J&J show.
Right, that's what I said. It's too bad they're not because I would love to ask them.
Nobody
what is it about them type of motherfuckers that makes their pussy just...
Yeah, and here's the thing. I was watching something recently, and there was some 40-something-year-old actresses, black actresses on there. Elise Neal, some of the other bitches, I can't remember who it was. But they were asked the question, why do they like bad boys? Why do they like bad guys? And you know what they said? I was so embarrassed. And this is why black women get lower and seem to get lower and lower on the hierarchy of bitches. But they said bad boys usually have the best dick. Like, okay, so even if the bad boys are fucking the shit out of you, is it worth some of the other baggage that's brought to the table? And that kind of question was presented to them, and they were like, "Yeah."
Oh shit!
I'm like, "Oh wow, okay."
If that's the case, man, then you shouldn't hear another complaint from any of them hoes about the way the bad boys treat them.
No.
About their behavior, about their... Why? Because according to you, their good dick is worth it. Period. That's it.
Yeah.
So, if their good dick is worth it, man, that means that none of that other shit, they don't call you, they fuck my best friend, they whoop my ass, none of that shit should even be a problem because according to you, their dick is worth it.
Hey, but you know something, this is what I realized about society, though. So I remember a time when it was at least portrayed publicly, like as if white people had more class than black folks.
Mm-hmm.
We black people, we were perceived as ghetto, rude, violent, nasty, this, that, and the other, and black people and white folks were proper. But as time has passed, white people have come down a lot, right? Over the years, they're losing more and more. Like this
Miley Cyrus.
I mean, not just the celebrity, right? No, that's a factor. Miley Cyrus and Bieber and these motherfuckers, that's definitely a factor in bringing down the overall appearance of the white person in America. But just the everyday common white people, just from like the Girls Gone Wild and just some of the other shit you see out here, it's like, I mean, not even just on TV and the media, but like even when you go out, like I go places and I see white people carrying on and they're fucking rude and nasty and it's a lot of shit. I'm almost embarrassed for them, for their race. Yeah. A lot of time, white people have come down a lot. And so what I'm seeing is the fucking foreigners are like taking over, right? In terms of class and shit, I'm talking about like the Africans, some of the Asians, the Indians. These motherfuckers is coming over here, they're getting the education, they're showing us what class used to be like here. They don't get involved in a lot of foolishness. This shit is almost embarrassing in a lot of ways. I forgot what my fucking point was, but...
Hey, all right, listen. Next question is from Jennifer.